This is the 6th round of the series, and going into this one, it's an Alfa Romeo that's leading the championship, the car of Luis Villamil. But taking pole position, and in fact his first pole, is Jordi Genet in the Opel Vectra, or Vauxhall Cavalier as we would know it in the UK. Luis Perez Sala setting the 2nd fastest time in the Nissan, former champion in the Spanish Touring Car Championship. So there you can see Jordi Genet on the left-hand side of the picture, Luis Perez Sala on the right, and somebody's got stuck on the grid. We're on board with John Viñez in the BMW, and Viñez going through. There you can see Alex Caffey alongside us as we go into the first corner, but in fact a good start from Luis Perez Sala. It's Perez Sala who leads as they go through the first corner, and Antonio Albacete it was who made a very bad start and got left behind. There moving up also the 2nd Nissan of Eric van der Poel. He's moved up into what looks like 4th place, with Luis Perez Sala teammate leading the race. Jordi Genet in 2nd place, then Luis Villamil in 3rd, with Eric van der Poel in 4th, with the Alfa Romeos holding station a little further back than that, and Antonio Albacete now trying to make up for that rather disappointing start. Now remember, Albacete did not start the last race in Estoril. He'd been banned from it due to bad driving earlier on in the season, and he was leading the championship before that, so he's really determined to try and make up for the disappointment there. Luis Perez Sala leading the race. We're back on board with John Viñez, and we're taking a look at somebody spinning, and that's Eric van der Poel in the Nissan. So the Belgian driver, former Grand Prix driver, out of the race, and look how buried that car is. It's going to take him a while to get that one out. So up front, Luis Perez Sala, and Jordi Genet definitely has closed up a little bit in 2nd place, with his teammate Alex Caffey not far behind, and this little battle going on as well with John Viñez, and always there's a little bit of contact between Viñez and the driver behind him, another Spanish driver, in fact just going past there, the BMW of Villarreal, and he's another privateer, so not one of the works cars, but nonetheless going very quickly indeed. Back to the front, and Luis Perez Sala trying to open up a little bit of an advantage over the Opel. Nissan's definitely on much better form now as we go on board with Villarreal. He's just been passed by one of the Alfa Romeos. In fact, that's Luis Villamil going past, and Villamil, who was well up at the front, well, he dropped right back and is now under pressure. Well, this is Albacete trying to move up through the order, and he's attacking Adrian Campos there in car number 1, last year's champion. Look at that, just a little bit of contact, and Campos managed to hold it all together, applied the opposite lock. Albacete tried to go around the outside. I think he's being a bit careful, because remember, he's been thrown out of the championship for one race already this year. He doesn't want to get himself into too much bother. He squeezes down the inside, and this time perhaps he's done it. Oh, he's squeezing him off though. Dear oh dear, watch it, Antonio, you're going to be in bother again, but Campos hits him now, and in fact it's Albacete who goes off onto the dirt. So perhaps a natural justice, and perhaps the stewards won't have to do anything about that. Campos giving him a bit of a hefty swipe in the door, but probably as much as anything as retaliation for what was already going on. Campos gets away with it, and meanwhile Luis Perez Sala still in front of Jordi Genet. Genet tracking Perez Sala all the way, but I don't think he's going to be able to find a way past here. Into the closing stages, checker flag ready, and Luis Perez Sala wins from Jordi Genet, Alex Caffey in the other Opel in 3rd, and then Giorgio Francia, Adrian Campos and John Viñez. So the car's getting ready for race number 2 now. Always 2 races in the Spanish Touring Car Championship. Little break in between, and then on to the attack once again. Well, those Land Rovers are fairly busy after that first race, putting the cars back in, but here we go, we're ready to go. It's Luis Perez Sala on pole position once again, with Jordi Genet alongside him, but a good start there from Alex Caffey in the other of the Opels. And meanwhile, we go back on board with Ignacio Villarreal, or Luis Villarreal, sorry, and he has moved up reasonably well. Look at all those Alfa Romeos all trying to squeeze through that first corner together. I think they've all managed it, but a whole gaggle of Alfa Romeos, or whatever the collective noun for Alfas is, all trying to move their way up the grid. And there is Van der Poel. No, it's Sala. In fact, Sala's dropped way back there. Look at that. He's got squeezed out by several Alfas all in one go. And the guy was on pole and who won the first race, and he's dropping back even further. He must have some sort of problem with the Nissan, I think. He's dropped right down the order, and he's in big trouble. Well, there, just being waved through, is Luis Villamil going past from Goiburu a little further back, and Villemel had to start at the back of the grid, so not surprising that he's finding a way past. And there's a change, as it looks as though Campos has moved into second. Indeed he has, Adrian Campos. That's second place from Alex Caffey. Jordi Genet is leading. There's Carlos Palau, one of the Ford Mondeos running. Oh, he's run wide, in fact. Rips a bit of bodywork off by the looks of it, gets back onto the circuit. You can see they're running the hatchback Mondeo in Spain rather than the booted version that we have in the UK. Slight difference, same in Germany, in fact, they've got the hatchback version. But Jordi Genet is still leading, with Alex Caffey now back into second. He's got himself back in front of Campos. And in fact, Campos is having quite a bit battle with Luis Villemel. And Villemel's going well because he started right at the back, remember. So the Alphas are at it. And there is the battle still going on with Francia involved in it as well. So he's another of those Alfa Romeos. That's Giorgio Francia. Oh, and that's Alex Caffey. Look at him, he's gone dirt tracking there. So look at all the Alphas. There must be oil down or something there, because there's somebody else in the background, and he's straight across the gravel. Well, it seems to be a big problem if you've got an Alfa Romeo. Everyone else seemed to get through reasonably well, except for the initial Opel. There's Palau in, so end of his race. And perhaps it is oil. Never know. Could well be that it was oil from his car that actually caused everyone to go flying off there. On board with Joan Vignes. Now then, he's trying to squeeze away past Caffey, who, remember, dropped down in that gravelly moment just a few corners ago. Oh dear, and that's somebody else diving. That's Albacete once again. Dear oh dear, Antonio is getting into big trouble there. Oh, and he collected one of the Nissans as well. So more and more problems. And in fact, there's Sala, yep, he's pulling off the circuit. Too much damage to the Nissan. There's bits of bodywork all over the place. Certainly plenty for the souvenir hunters after this one. And Van der Poel now trying to make up more ground as they carry on round. Oh, there's, oh dear, heavy whack against the barrier there. And that's Goiburu. Let's take another look at that. Just gets punted off and then whack straight into the tyre wall. Tyres go flying all over the place. And Goiburu in one of the privateer Alphas. Bang. Ouch. And, well, driver okay. Well protected. Oh, and that's running very wide again. That looks like Van der Poel. Didn't quite go into the gravel like some of the others that we'd seen. And then back on board with Joan Vignes once again. He's in the battle with Luis Villarreal, BMW. Oh, and this is back. This is on board with Villarreal. So we're seeing this battle from both onboard cameras. Ouch! Trying to. Yes, in fact, he's gone through. So Joan Vignes in another Nissan. It's a privateer Nissan, that one. But he's gone through. Takes that place. That's the leader, by the way. We haven't seen him. Jordi Genet. He's got a huge lead over Giorgio Francia in the Alfa. Another Alfa, that's Adrian Campos. And another Alfa, Luis Villemel, championship leader coming into this event. So he's scoring points. But a good inter-team rivalry going on here. Francia and Campos moving out of the way of Luis Villemel. Now, I wonder if that's all down to team orders, or has Campos got a little problem there? Back on board with Joan Vignes. Alex Caffey ahead. Oh, Caffey slowed right down there. I think, in fact, Caffey's got some sort of problem. Francia also moving out of the way. This is all team orders going on here. And Luis Villemel trying to take as many points as possible. And in fact, that has allowed him to come up into second place now. But Jordi Genet coming through to take his first win of 1995. Luis Villemel taking second thanks to Alfa team orders, with Giorgio Francia third, Adrian Campos fourth, and very close behind him, Eric Van der Poel in the Nissan Primera. So very tight racing indeed, but Luis Villemel has a 3-point lead in the championship to Jordi Genet. It's a great battle between Alfa and Opel, with the Nissan of Eric Van der Poel not far behind either.
Round 6 of the Spanish Touring Car Championship from Calafat, heats 11 and 12. Jordi Genet in the Opel leads the championship. Eric Van der Poel and Luis Villemel in the Alfa are fighting for second place, but it was Luis Perez Sala who took pole with his Nissan Primera, also setting a new lap record. Perez Sala lying 6th in the championship. All the official Alfa Romeos were disqualified from practice because of new exhausts being too noisy. Amazingly, they were all made to start from the back of the grid. Didn't sound too noisy to me. Race 1, Sala on pole in front of Genet and Van der Poel. And watch out for Van der Poel, who moves straight from third place into first. Start the inboard, Miguel Angel de Castro in the private Alfa, 6th place just behind Johan Vinjes. Van der Poel in car 33 leads. Perez Sala 23 is second ahead of Genet, Albacete, Vinjes, Campos takes 6th place from de Castro. Lap 2, and Van der Poel and Perez Sala increasing their lead. This is the first time that Van der Poel's been to this track at Calafat, even though Nissan for the last few years have done most of their testing there. Perez Sala knows it like the back of his hand, but Van der Poel learning it for the first time this weekend. Inboard then with Vinjes taking 4th place away from Albacete. Campos also attacking Albacete, but he can't get past. Campos, of course, drove for Minardi in Formula 1 in '87 and was is the reigning Spanish touring car champion. Lap 4, Francia and Villamil in cars 4 and 3, both past Angel de Castro, who goes down, drops down to 9th place. Francia still racing after many years as an Alfa test driver, 47 years old. Alex Caffey, ex-Arrows Formula 1 driver, in the pits, having a few problems sorted out, and goes out for 2 testing laps just to get ready for race 2. Villamil takes 7th place away from Francia. Villamil, a former champion in Spain. Meanwhile, Albacete takes back 4th place from Vinjes. Albacete won their first 2 races of the season at Jerez. Inboard with Goiburo, private driver. He was forced to retire. There he is, Goiburo, going straight on into the gravel trap, keeping it off the tyres. But Van der Poel holds on to take victory in front of Perez Sala, and Jordi Genet finishing 3rd. The first 1995 1-2 for Nissan, and Van der Poel's 2nd win of the year. Shared joy among the Nissan teammates. Very good day for Nissan. As I said, they do a lot of their testing on this track. The start of race 2. Look out for Van der Poel again in car 33. Taking the lead at the start in front of Albacete and Perez Sala. We go inboard with Vinjes as he goes 5th behind Jordi Genet. Villamil going past. Villamil twice a winner this year. The top 5, Van der Poel, Albacete, Perez Sala, Genet, Villamil and Vinjes. Perez Sala takes 2nd place from Albacete. Perez Sala, of course, the '93 champion in Spain. At the end of lap 2, Perez Sala took the lead in front of Van der Poel. Meanwhile, Albacete takes 2nd place from Van der Poel. Down the long straight he goes. The order then, Sala, Albacete, Van der Poel. Lap 4, Genet takes third place from Van der Poel.